Well, goddamn, what a weekend for USC football. Recruiting left, recruiting right, dipping into the dirty South and getting some really nice talent. Talk about that and much more here on the Student Body Right USC podcast. Ooh, boy. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Trojans. Let's go. Student Body Right USC podcast. Now, I usually don't get crazy until they sign. Because until the young men sign, they're typically some of them flipped from Georgia to USC. So why get super excited about it? You never know. Things can change dramatically at any moment, so you don't want to actually kind of go crazy about it. But it is good to see USC be this active, to be this, to the forefront of high school recruiting because that's a missing piece for them. They haven't had that. They haven't had the ability to do those things, and it's just nice to see them just grab some really nice talent. And then when I think the thing about with where Lincoln Riley can flex a little bit here is the fact that you can go in and say, hey, you know what? This is we're we're effing USC. Like, you know what I mean? And it's about time somebody actually kind of said that and and it's kind of felt that way. It's not the Clay Helton era where Clay Helton would be begging for these 3-star, 2-star guys. Um, Now you're seeing the power of SC, and I think that when you hear some of these kids talking about it, and let's be honest, the network, it like you. I always tell kids when I'm working with when I'm talking to them and working with them and talking to them about sports and life and stuff like that. It's not really. You can go to Harvard, you can go to Yale, you can go to USC, you can go to all these different schools. If you don't make connections with people, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter unless you're a nepo baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. So if you can't make connections with people, you can't have whole conversations with people, you can't do those things, then it doesn't really matter. Making connections is how you get really successful in life. And any job I ever had in my life that was worth anything, it was because it was a referral from a friend, somebody who knew somebody else, right? So that's what you're seeing with USC. These kids are coming in and they're saying to people that, hey, this network that USC has of people of alumni is just second to none. There are some just tremendous people in that network, and they are going to take advantage of it. I think that's what people are presenting to them, because if the money is even, they're gonna come to USC. Lincoln Riley talked about NIL, and NIL had made some great strides with House of Victory over the last 6 or 7 months. Um, and that's all USC really needs to do is just make the money even with other schools, make the opportunities even with other schools, and say, hey, listen, that school you go to, I'm not right. I'm not going to kill that school. It's a fine school. At the end of the day, right? That school, that network of alumni, all those people who can help you after football is over, after your NFL career is over, they're all right here at SC. I think that's the beautiful thing that I think that they're selling to these kids. Not only that, I mean, you have a guy who I think Justice Terry, big, strong, incredible talent at defensive line, who can play inside, play outside. You have somebody like Eric Henderson in the house who can tell him, hey, listen, this is Aaron Donald. Hi, you can shake Aaron Donald's hand if you want, but you're gonna get double teamed. Here's what I'm gonna do to get you off those double teams and get you single blocked. That's what he said. Eric Henderson said to him, which stood out to him and his family more than anything else anybody else said. Like that's the kind of quality coaching, that's the kind of quality conversations you're gonna have when you have a top-notch defensive staff. And like, I don't care about running backs. I don't care about tight ends. I don't care about any of those other things. Where USC is going to get, they're gonna get theirs as far as skill position goes. They've all, even in the Clay Allen era, even in the the Lane Kiffin era, no matter what era you talk about, whether any downtrodden era of football, um, USC has definitely got their guys. So at the end of the day, it's all about the defense. And the defense had got some really good players coming into it here. Julian Lewis is taking his time going through the whole thing with USC as well. He's committed to USC. We'll see if these guys stay in sign, but the talent is there. The talent is there. And the only missing thing from USC right now, the only missing thing right now from USC is on the field. They're also on the field. Like, they have to win games, and if they win games, they win 10 games this year, they win 11 games this year. They can just get their Cardinal and Gold behinds into the football playoff, maybe even host a playoff game at the Coliseum. That, can you imagine the scene at the Coliseum if that happens? That's all we're talking about. That's the only missing piece. That's the only bit of trepidation that some people have. Is like, oh, you know what? I like what the USC is doing, but they gotta do it on the field. I just need to see one season where they do it on the field and it looks sustainable. First year with Caleb Williams in that defense wasn't sustainable because that defense was given. Now I'm sitting in a situation where I think it's sustainable. If they can get this defense going and they just tackle and do what they got to do, it's going to be that's sustainable. Even if a guy like Danton Lynn, after 2 years, is gone and he's coaching an NFL team or coaching another college football team. I mean, it's really that simple. But it's really great to see SC be a little SC-ish, if you will, from back in the day this weekend. And they're flexing on folks right now. I mean, you go to Georgia and like we're not even asking for, the whole state. You go to Georgia, Florida, and start getting players like Dominique Kelly, 2026, Gus Cordova, Justice Terry, Julian Lewis, Isaiah Gibson, and Hilton Stubbs. You get that kind of talent, and you start building that national brand that we all know USC is. It's just, you can't get much better than that. But it was my phone was blowing up. And my phone was blowing up. I love the updates. I love when Coach Riley just puts out "Fight On," and then that's something that's really cool to see. And then everybody starts chiming in and saying, "Oh my God, who's next? Who's next? Who's next?" Everybody's like, "Another one, another one." I must have saw that DJ Khaled gif every 5 seconds. Another one, another one. And we want all of them. We want all of them. So build that 20. You want to stack classes, as he talks about, and they hope it continues. They got to get these kids to sign, get them in the building, and start building and start building that up a little bit more and more and more. So USC has that big weekend. So hopefully that those kids stay. One of the things I want to talk about too before we head out is SC. One of the things that really stood out to those kids was the way USC practiced, the pace, and their ability to just be fantastic in that whole situation, as far as how they practice and what a SC practice, what a big time college football practice look like. They kind of hold back a lot of stuff in practice, as far as letting the media letting the media see, but they got people are really confident right now in USC and the way things are being done. And I think one of the things one of the things people really like is their ability to practice at where people are visibly learning stuff, where the pace is picked up, people are in shape, like in shape. Because if you saw some of these before and after pictures from the weight room at SC, it's impressive. It really is impressive. Those kids look fantastic. So, student body right, USC podcast. Dwayne Douglas here, just talking about SC and their big weekend. It's a beautiful thing to see them accomplish what they were accomplish. We're gonna go over some of these recruits. I usually don't go over high school recruits because you spend a whole lot of time doing it, and then they end up and they end up changing their mind. But I think it's a good weekend. We should celebrate it a little bit. So celebrate the good weekend a little bit, and go over some of the and go over some of these guys here as well too. So um just kind of flabbergasted and really just like surprised that they were able to pull it off. And he's very serious about getting this team. I know some people wrote after, you know some of these guys were writing about like him like not wanting to stay at USC, that he's bound for the NFL, all these things like that. And I'm just like, cousin, like what are we doing? Like what are we really, 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 really doing? What are we doing? We're talking about Lincoln Riley leaving. If he was in Oklahoma, you don't think he was literally in Oklahoma? You think that Jerry Jones never in his life made a phone call to Lincoln Riley and say, "Hey, Lincoln, you want to come to the NFL?" Do you think that never happened? Like he's 100% gonna try. He's 100% gonna try to get it done. He's 100% going to come out and try to. If he does go to the NFL, he wants to win it. He wants to win it out here. He wants to win it here first. Call him after that first title, then maybe he could you could have him go to the NFL. But for right now, they're still building. It's still going in the right direction. They still need some holes. They talked about going to get somebody in the portal for this offensive line. They need a body. They probably need one more receiver out of the portal. Maybe even two receivers in the portal. So we'll see what they do there. But right now, it's all good. And the spring game is rapidly approaching. So we'll see how that goes as well. All right. See nobody right. USC podcast. Everybody have a good night, good morning, whenever you listen to the show or watching the show. And as always, man,